If I ask someone who's still working, what is retirement all about? I reckon the first thing they'd mention is money. Have I got enough? Can I afford to retire? How much do I need to retire? And look, they're all important questions, and I asked exactly the same ones myself. But now that I've been retired for 18 months, I've realised something different. Money gets you into retirement, but mindset is what helps you enjoy it. Before anyone misunderstands me, I'm certainly not saying money isn't important. It absolutely is. You need enough to live the lifestyle you want, and I would never suggest otherwise. But what I am saying is this. Most of us spend decades preparing our finances for retirement, but very few of us spend any time preparing ourselves for what retirement actually may feel like. And trust me, there are a few surprises. So if you're approaching retirement and wondering what life's really going to be like, or if you've recently retired and you're quietly thinking, is this normal? Well, then this video might just be for you. Because I'd simply like to share some of the things I've learned from actually living retirement. Not as an expert, not as a financial advisor, but just as someone who's now 18 months into this new chapter. And I'll also reveal what the biggest lesson I've learned is, so do stick around for that one. When we picture retirement, we usually imagine the highlights. You know, the usual stuff like travelling, sleeping in, leisure pursuits, long lunches, etc. And yep, those things are wonderful. But here's the thing, and the reality. They're not everyday life. Beautiful or otherwise, most retirement days are ordinary. You wake up, make a coffee, go for a walk, do a few things around the house, run an errand, maybe catch up with a friend, cook dinner. That's retirement. And at first I wasn't sure if that was enough, because for 40 plus years I'd been conditioned to believe that every day had to be productive, and work sure saw that that's how it was. Retirement, on the other hand, quietly asks a different question. Can you enjoy an ordinary day? It took me a little while to answer yes, and just accepting that an ordinary day is fine. But once I did, retirement became a whole lot more enjoyable. So if you're still trying to slow down and stop feeling guilty for not being busy all the time, then don't worry, because I think that's a very normal part of the transition. Freedom isn't always as easy as it sounds. We spend our working lives dreaming about freedom. No alarm clock, no Monday mornings, no commute, no meetings. Then suddenly you've got complete freedom. And strangely enough, that can feel uncomfortable. Nobody tells you that. When every day belongs to you, every day also becomes your responsibility. You wake up and you think, so, what am I going to do today? At first, that question can feel surprisingly difficult to answer. Not because retirement is bad, but because your brain is still wired for structure. You've spent decades having your days planned for you. Now you're creating your own rhythm, and that takes time. And if you're finding that adjustment a little harder than you expected, well, you're certainly not alone. I hear people all the time say, you've got to keep busy. I used to think like that, but now I'm not actually sure that's the goal. Because for me now, retirement isn't about filling every hour. It's about filling the day with things that have meaning. Sometimes that's meeting friends, sometimes it's going for a long walk, sometimes it's making YouTube videos, sometimes it's doing absolutely nothing. And I've learned that doing nothing isn't wasting time. Sometimes it's exactly what I need. I've stopped judging my days by how much I achieve. Now, enjoyment and fulfillment are the judges of my day. And that's been quite a shift in mindset for me. When I look back, I never really thought how much of my identity came from work. For years, if someone asked who I was, naturally a part of my answer was my job, given that's what my life was based around. I'm sure that's the same for everyone. Then one day that disappears. Nobody prepares you for that either. Retirement gives you the chance to rediscover yourself. Not your job, not your title, just you. And that can feel exciting, liberating, but it can also feel a little unsettling. Either way, both feelings are perfectly normal. Another surprise is that retirement can change your relationships. Some of your friends are still working, some have completely different routines, some people you'll see more often, others not so much. If you're retired on your own, there may even be times when retirement feels a little lonely. Again, that's not a failure, it's just another adjustment. The good news is that retirement also gives you something incredibly valuable. Time time to reconnect, time to make new friends, time to strengthen relationships that perhaps took a backseat during your working years. Sometimes, maybe even most times, you have to be the driver of that. But I guess that comes down to what you're ultimately seeking. If there's one thing retirement has taught me, it's this. It isn't all about the big moments. Sure, enjoy the holidays, the big trip, and especially the initial honeymoon phase that everybody enjoys. But my suggestion is not to build your happiness around them, because the reality is, most of life, whether it's working or retired, is lived on ordinary Tuesdays. And I've learned to appreciate a lazy morning, a walk on a sunny morning, lunch with a mate, listening to a podcast whilst doing things around the house. Those little things have become some of the biggest pleasures in my retirement, and they're things I didn't notice so much when I was working. So if you're still working, then by all means, keep building your retirement fund and making sensible financial decisions, because that's important. But while you're doing that, spend a little time preparing your mindset as well. Think about the person who's actually going to live this life. What will give your days purpose? How will you enjoy an ordinary Tuesday? Who will you spend your time with? Because here's what I've come to believe after 18 months of retirement. Money helps you retire, but mindset helps you enjoy retirement. And in the end, I think that's the preparation that often gets overlooked. Guys, if any of what I've spoken about here today resonates with you, I'd genuinely love to hear your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.